trouble with last 2 years?
Knocked our quarterback out the past 2 games. I don't know what else to say.
I just mean it as a team. What have they done?
Well, I mean, they're a good team. I mean, Dungy was a great player. They've had some really weapons. They've been physical in the trenches. They played with great effort. They play with passion. They play with belief. Those are all things created and instilled by Dino. But, when you go on the road and you lose your starting quarterback and you roll a guy out there that hadn't played, and then you're turning it over. We had 3 turnovers last year. I think one of them on the 10-yard line. Well, here we go, boys. Here you go. Go get them, D. Go get them. First of all, you got to not lose to Clemson. You got to take care of because you can't control the things that they control. You got to focus on things you control. And so again, last year you go in and really we had a good flow of the game going, and next thing you know, crazy scramble deal, and Trevor's knocked out, and now your third-team quarterback who hadn't played is running out there, and it's just and it was shaky, and it took a while to kind of settle down. And again, we had 3 turnovers in that game, one of them literally on the 10-yard line. So it starts with that. It starts with doing the things that you need to do to make them have to go the length of the field. Our plan to win is what we talk about. Our effort's been good, but just not having mental errors, having more big plays than them, winning the turnover margin, being the least penalized team. Those are the things, so that you can win that field position battle, keep them on a long field, don't let them have short fields, make a difference in special teams and stuff. So, that's, if you go back and look at it, we've turned it over, and they've done a good job in creating some turnovers, and we've had some mental errors. We've had some busted big plays, and then we've had some plays where we didn't bust. They just flat out made the play. We went up there 2 years ago. We couldn't cover them. We were wide. We were all over them, and they either made the play or we pass interfered the whole game. It was awful. And then our offense couldn't help the defense because we were dysfunctional, and our quarterback got hurt, and we turned it over, and we weren't very good in special teams. We got beat. That's what happens.
Other than his natural ability, what has A.J. done to develop into a corner with the shutdown happening?
He's put the work in. Obviously he's got the natural ability, but he's physically put the work in, and he's mentally put the work in. So he's busted his butt in that weight room. If you go back and look at his picture when he first got here and you look at him now, physically it's just, night and day. So with that strength comes confidence. With experience comes knowledge and confidence. So he's got experience, he's got knowledge, he's got strength. With all that natural skill set, the length, the speed, the quickness, the ability to, flip his hips and all the things that you need to be a good corner. And then probably the biggest thing of all, he's got mindset. He's got the mindset and the heart set to go with the skill set.
Across from him, what has Kendrick done these first 2 games that have impressed you, and what are his best qualities, I guess?
Yeah, I didn't do much in the first game. There wasn't a lot, there just wasn't much there. He did his job, but I thought he really stepped up this past week. They went after him, and he was well positioned. He didn't panic. He played with poise. For the most part, he played with pretty good technique. He's physical. He's got some swag, if you just wanted to, he's got some swag to him. He brings energy, and he's just confident. He's a confident football player. He knows he can play the game, and he likes to work at it. He likes practice. You can come out and watch him. He's always talking at practice. He's just got an energy to him. And again, it's not a false swag or false confidence or a disrespectful swag. He's just got a swag to him, he just brings a confidence, and he has mental toughness. He's not a guy that's affected by a play, because when you play corner, that's one of the key ingredients to being a good corner, because you're going to give up some plays from time to time, especially when you're practicing against the guys that he's got to practice against. But his ability to flush that and go on and go back and learn from it and keep getting better, is things he brings to the table. But he's thirsty for knowledge. He likes to learn. He likes to be coached. And he's an easy guy to coach, a very, very easy guy to coach because he's a worker. And so I love DK. He's a lot of fun.
You said a few weeks ago that Tony Elliott is really stingy and picky with his scholarship offers. What about his, approach is different when he's looking for these running backs?
Well, I think that's kind of characteristic of all of our staff, to be honest with you, simply because of our philosophy in this program. And they know that when they bring one in here, I better not ever hear you complain about your players. Because this is not a place where, I'm going to fix their mistake. And there's certain expectations that I have with the guys who come through the door. And so the coaches know that. So we don't offer freshmen and sophomores unless it comes from me. If we offer a freshman, a sophomore came from me, I know him. He's been in our camp. I've been around him. I just know a lot about him. This is a developmental game, and I'm always trying to slow it down, number one. So part of it just comes from that general philosophy. I want to get the juniors, the seniors that develop. I want to get those guys, the Kayvon Wallaces, the Nolan Turners, Isaiah Simmons, Trayvon Mullen. I want to get them guys. And so I'm much more, if we take a guy early, it's because, we're all on board. And it's a no-brainer for us to take a guy early. Otherwise, I'm always trying to pump the brakes. I'm always challenging the staff and really trying to talk guys out of it, to be honest with you. Because I just think, when you bring guys in here and your philosophy is till graduation do we part, and you're not going to go and recruit junior college players, and you're not going to go and recruit the portal every year, and hope we never have to get to there, but who knows? You need to be right. You need to be right, as opposed to come here, we can't play, well, let's move on. And we're not ever going to bat 1,000, but I think we've been pretty good, with that philosophy. And and Tony just, again, we're never taking a bunch of guys. I mean, you're talking on a big year, we're going to take 2 at his position. And we're at a point now in our program where a lot of kids want to come. So we're not just trying to get guys, we want to get the right guys. And and then again, he wants to get guys that fit, guys that are fun to coach, this is a hard deal. And it's a lot more fun when you can coach guys that love ball, that love the weight room, that value education, that want to be coached, that want to be empowered, that want to grow as a man, and so we're looking for all of these intangibles. It's easy to see a guy catch it and run it and all that stuff, but it takes a whole lot more than that to win consistently. You can have a good team, every now and then, but to really have sustained success, it always comes down to the people.
Do you generally notice what you mentioned about waiting guys to develop as high schoolers, that then correlates into the guys who develop on your front row in this room by waiting them out, getting them more mature?
Yeah, absolutely, because the guys that come here, they really want to be here, and we're probably one of the slowest schools to offer, or maybe not, that's not the right word. Maybe we have the fewest offers. We just don't make a lot of offers because we want to be patient, and we want to give kids time. We don't want them to feel rushed. We want to give them time. There comes a point somewhere in the recruiting process where sometimes you get pinched on your numbers because maybe you've offered 5 or 6 guys and you're going to take 1 or 2 spots, and you can fill up. But we know that a lot of kids want to come see Clemson, and we also know when they come they're going to like it the majority of the time. And so we just try not to cast a big wide net. We try to be very specific and really identify the qualities that we're looking for. And because again, there's a lot of good players, but good players that really want discipline and accountability and education and family and all this, and then the pool gets smaller. And so that's the pool we want to be in.
Tag on to that, you struck gold with a few late acquisitions over the last 3 recruiting classes, Kayvon Wallace, Travis, Lynn J, those guys. How do you factor in the decision-making process with such a small window?
Yeah, well, I think that's an encouragement and it's what I'm always beating the drum by. Slow down. All right, if some sophomore gets offended because we don't offer him a scholarship, well, great, let him go somewhere else. I don't care. You know, and I know coaches get pressure on them with media and high school coaches, and I'll be the bad guy, you know, because coaches may be gone. Some of these coaches may leave, and then I'm going to be stuck with them. That's why when we have an opening here, nobody hires a coach but me. Nobody hires anybody but me. You know, because what if that guy leaves and they don't take that guy with them? You know, we don't operate that way here. So, you know, and then again, that's my point. I mean, we weren't recruiting DBs in 15 because I'm loyal to the guys here. You know, I'm not ever going to tell a guy that he's got to leave because he's not a good enough player. We signed him. It's till graduation do we part. Now, if he's a turd and he don't want to go to class, he's a bad effort guy, or he breaks rules, that's a whole different deal. You know, you're not entitled to be here. It's a privilege, and so. That's my point, is what you just said. I mean, 2015, we're not recruiting DBs because I'm counting all them guys to come back. Because they hadn't told me they're leaving, and I don't want them. I don't want them to feel pressured to have to leave. Hey, I want you back, so I'm saving your scholarship. I'm glad I kept them for Christian and Cleveland and Austin, and I'm glad I didn't just go oversign and say, oh, well, these guys are going to leave, let me go sign. No, I didn't do that. I'm like, no, I'm counting on them coming back until they tell me different. That's because that's my responsibility to them. You know, I just don't think that's right. You know, now sometimes a guy will tell you straight up early, like Isaiah. You know, like, hey, coach, I'm going to graduate in December, and, you know I got another year, but, hey, that's great. No problem with that. You know, and we're all on the same page. And I can go recruit, but it's not going to be because of me going to him. Or sometimes maybe I got a guy on scholarship that's not quite as good as we want him to. But he's a great kid. He does everything. Hey, that's on us. It's on us. So it's just what I believe in. And then I always try to save a couple for some of our walk-ons, you know, that deserve it, that earned it, that help our team. So that's how I manage the roster. But that year in 15, I mean, I had no idea those guys were leaving. I mean, there's speculation, but I didn't know. And then all of a sudden the game's over. I got T.J. Green calling me. Hey, I'm going pro. What? McKenzie, hey, coach, love you. I'm going pro. J-Ron, hey, I'm going pro. Travis Blanks, I'm graduated. I got my math. I'm going pro. I'm going to try the – I'm like, okay. Well, boys, we got 3 weeks. We're in the DB business. Literally. I'd never heard of Isaiah Simmons until, 10 days before signing day. Didn't know who he was. So we're scrambling around, and we're trying to find guys. There's good players out there. And guys develop. There's guys like Kayvon. How many offers did Kayvon have as a junior? Probably not many. And his senior year, he blew up. And all of a sudden, you know, we get on this Kayvon Wallace guy. This guy's going to be a pro and a heck of a player and a leader. He's a captain this week. And Isaiah, he's getting ready to go to, I think, no way they were going to play him at wide out at Nebraska. Apparently that's what he was going to be, but they'd have moved him quick. He's not a wide out. And then I think Michigan might have been his other, but we weren't on his radar. But that also goes to show the power of our brand. You know, we pick up the phone and we're like, hey, you know, would you be interested in taking a visit? And if so, I'll come out there and we sit down with your family. Let's talk and see what kind of fit it is. And he ended up coming. Kayvon, and then I went back to Nolan Turner's film. I called Buddy Anderson at Vestavia because we weren't recruiting Nolan because we didn't have a scholarship. You know, I told him a while back that he could walk on. And I went back and looked at his tape, and I'm going, man. And I'm trying not to be biased because obviously I love the kid, I love the family, and I got a history there, and I'm like, God worked that out. And I mean, because we didn't have a spot for Nolan. And I called Buddy Anderson, who's been there for 50 years at Vestavia High School, was coaching there when I was playing against Vestavia. And I just said, Buddy, I need your honest. And he's like, Coach, he's as good a football player as I've ever had at Vestavia. And they've had 1 million of them. He goes, and I can't understand why he's not being recruited. And I think Alabama had offered him a walk-on spot as well. And so I took the tape to Brent. Hey, what do you think about this guy? And he's like, man, this guy can play. Where's he at? And I'm like, that's all I need to know. And so went from there. And Nolan Turner he's been a MVP candidate in the last 2 games for us. He's a baller. He's a football player. How about T.J. Green? I mean, we got T.J. Green. Robbie Caldwell found him like literally a week before signing day. He was running a triple option. He's from Sylacauga, Alabama. He's 45 minutes from Auburn. He didn't have any. He was going. He was going to UAB. That's where T.J. Green was going. Blazers. And we're watching the tape. We're like, this guy's an athlete. Next thing you know, he comes in here. He comes to Clemson. Leaves after his 3rd year and goes second round. So it's a developmental game, and it just, I'm always trying to slow it down. I'm not trying to win any recruiting wars and all that stuff. If it happens, great. So we can have the number 1 group. But that's not ever my goal. My goal is to get the right people, and because people win.
All right, we'll conclude with that. Thank
All
you,
right.
Coach.
Appreciate